Hello.
Holy shit,
What
dude,
the fuck is your problem?
Cringe. What the fuck?
You literally just said I was deliberately strawmanning you, and that I have been.
I said I'm pretty sure the straw manning is deliberate at this point.
Yeah, what the fuck do you mean?
Doesn't it, Ahrelevant?
There is what strawmanning did I do? Go.
What straw manning did you do?
Yes, what strawmanning did I do?
Women, as if anybody's gonna fucking assert that cops can't.
You just said not a woman, a cop.
Or when somebody in your chat says
no. Address my point. Hold on, Vivian. What was the point? What was the point of you saying not a woman, a cop?
Because, right, as Mad Lad pointed out in the chat, should be really fucking easy to understand, actually, right? When somebody says you would defend women being beaten in the streets, right? I said, not women, cops, right? Like, the point is that, like, if somebody goes and kicks the shit out of some fucking random woman, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's perfectly okay. Whereas in certain circumstances, I'd be fine with people fighting back against the police, right? Regardless of their fucking gender. Their gender is irrelevant in this fucking situation. And that should be really, really obvious to anybody looking in on the conversation. I am surprised it's not obvious to you. And I could give you the benefit of the doubt and say, maybe
doesn't matter. Hold on, you can slow it down. This is incredibly wild. So first off, you are beating the shit out of a woman, all right? They don't lose their gender when they choose to sign up to the police force.
Yes, very.
Wow,
big,
yeah,
big
I
brain,
have no
big brain there.
Not quite as big brain as saying you're not beating up a woman, you're beating up a cop. Okay,
I never said you're not brain.
You literally said not a woman in response to somebody saying no. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up for one moment in your life. Oh no, you're so fucking cringe because you want a virtue signal because you want those anarchist fucking boys. You are virtue signaling the kingdom coming back. You want some goddamn Twitter points, and that's what the fuck you came in here to do, saying that I'm deliberately fucking bad faith. You're fucking cringe as hell. The statement was simple, okay? They were kicking the shit out of some woman, all right? They were kicking the shit out of some woman
for being deliberately doing
no,
it. Right.
You are so fucking ridiculous. Are you gonna let me talk or what? Are you gonna let me talk?
Go ahead.
Okay, so the statement was simple. That these people, this like group of people, were kicking the shit out of this person that was a cop and also was a woman. All right, and that somebody in my chat said they were kicking the shit out of a woman, right?
No,
and
that's
that all
not
these
what they
left.
Go back and read it.
I did. I just did on stream. What do you mean?
You're okay with the thing that I replied to, okay? And I can't remember actually verbatim, right? But the way it was phrased, effectively, what it said was, so you're either okay with or advocating for women to be kicked the shit out of in the street. Right?
And the answer, hold on. If you're good
and
faith,
the answer is not women.
No, you're so dumb. The answer is simple. Right. The answer is simple from you. The answer is yes, as long as they're cops. That is your answer.
That's not my answer.
Yes, it is. Yes. Wait, was that woman a cop? And are you okay with her getting the shit kicked out of her? Yes or no?
I don't know the circumstances
that
led to that altercation.
Right. Somebody needs to get this woman a fucking lawyer, dude. Oh my god. Holy fucking shit.
I don't know the circumstances that led to that altercation.
Nah, shut the fuck up, okay? We're not talking about what circumstances led to that event because you just supported it in chat. So whatever the fuck you were supporting, right, is what you saw, okay? You don't need you can't retreat. Hold on. You can't retreat you can't retreat on your point and backpedal and be like, well, I didn't know the context. Well, too bad. You should have thought about that before you put a message in my chat room in the first place. Hold on. Nobody forced you to put a message in the chat room supporting that shit.
You've made a good point. Okay. Yeah, we were responding to like Hasan's assertions that like it's pretty fucking unlikely that the cops did absolutely nothing to antagonize that crowd. I'm making a few assumptions here. I'm assuming that was in the United States, right? So it's probably not some random fucking completely lawless country where mobs of people just rush fucking cops, right? It's not fucking Bangladesh or fucking. Does Somalia even have cops now? I don't think they do. But like, but Hasan's probably right? Those cops probably tried to assault somebody in that crowd. I think that's pretty reasonable assumption. I
genuinely, I don't think we can be able to say that. I don't think we have enough information to say that.
Do you think they were just standing there?
I have no idea because I don't have evidence, so I'm not going to make a claim like you. I'm not going to be a dumbass.
Okay. I think in the overwhelming majority of situations that look like that, right, where a group of people are like in a physical altercation with police, right, the police have likely done something to fucking
it's if you're talking about in the BLM situation, it's more often than not that there has been a situation in the area like breaking of businesses or looting of businesses, and then the police unjustly target an entire group of people, a swath of people. That's what it's not just, hey, we're a cop, so we're going to beat the shit out of you.
The whole swath of people. What? So there's been a business looted down the street.
What about what I just said?
Wait.
That is so confusing.
Okay, this is what you just said, okay? You're like, most of the time, a thing has happened in the area, and then the cops target a whole swath of people. So if a fucking shop's been looted down the fucking road, and they start fucking firing beanbags randomly into a crowd that happens to be nearby, that's somehow, like, the crowd's fault because something was fucking looted.
I never said it was the crowd's. Okay, hold on. Holy mother of bad faith. Now you're being bad. I never said it was justified. Back it the fuck off. Okay, I understand you got to get your virtue signaling points. All right.
I never said
once. All right, dial it back. Dial it back a couple times. Dial it back a couple times. The way that what you said previously is that gangs of cops are just walking around just beating the shit out of citizens just because they want to. Yes, you did. Okay.
When did I say that?
You said, did you not say that cops are literally just assaulting people and throwing the first punch with no provocation?
What I said was, really, when you see a situation like this, right,
where cops
are being surrounded by people and assaulted, it's generally because the cop has done something provocative towards that group of people, generally assaulted
so you're making the claim that cops just go around and beat the shit out of people for literally absolutely no reason. That's what they do. Just point blank, period.
I don't think it's absolutely no reason, but no justifiable reason.
I'm trying to actually be truthful, okay? Usually it's in response to some kind of looting or something like that, and then they blame like fucking 300 people for something that like 2 people did. All right? That's
so no
usually
justifiable reason. Cool.
Not a good justifiable reason, but I don't want to spread propaganda because I'm not a fucking idiot. Okay? Cops don't walk around and just see random people and start beating the shit out of them. That doesn't happen. That's not a widespread problem. However, what absolutely is a problem, at least during the protests and during some of the riots, especially the more violent ones, was there would be a business or something being burned or looted, and then a bunch of people would get targeted in protest suppression. That's what would happen.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, usually when you see a situation like this, a cop has committed some kind of unjustified violence against that group, and you're agreeing with me. So thank you. Amazing. I'm glad we could get to this fucking point.
I never agreed.
Okay, so
that
do
them
you think
typically
it's justified?
You're missing the point. You're not letting me speak. Okay. That's not how you get from A to B. All right? So you're going from A to C, right? You're saying that because I agree that there's fair numbers of times in which cops will act in a way that is suppressing of a protest or riot in potentially an unjustified way at a fair rate, especially during the BLM protests, as a result of a minor issue or even a large-scale issue, and then suppress a whole group of people that is larger than what was necessary to be able to cause the damage in the first place. That doesn't necessarily mean, then, that the protesters are often, when they attack cops, responding to such a case. That is not congruent at all. You need to be able to establish that. And let alone, you need to be able to establish that happened in this instance. Which you didn't. This is all beyond the point. You didn't. You defended the people kicking the shit out of the cops with no evidence whatsoever. And then you proceeded to say that the cop wasn't a woman, or that the person inside of my chat was wrong for stating that.
Never said the cop wasn't a woman.
Okay, so the person in my chat stated that you're okay with people beating the shit out of women, which is correct. You say no, you're not, because you want to play for virtue signaling points. You are okay with people. Hold on, Vivian. You are okay with people beating the shit out of the women as long as they're cops. Yes or no?
Yes, depending
there
on the
you
situation.
go. Holy fucking shit. Jesus Christ, so my chatter actually bodied you in one fucking sentence. Jesus, this is embarrassing, Vivian.
There's nothing embarrassing about it. All that's embarrassing is that you've drugged me in to try and browbeat me into saying what was
no, I didn't don't act like you're a victim again. Victim Andy. The reason why I dragged you in is you're trying to victimize yourself in every fucking no shot. Every chance you get, you're trying to victimize yourself.
Demonstrated it.
So, no, it's because right here,
clearly
you're like, stop, hold on. I'm pretty sure he knows. I'm almost convinced the straw manning is deliberate at this point. And you're expecting me not to drag your dumbass in?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said.
What do you mean?
I said,
you said that and you're expecting
my point.
How are you trying to act?
Your chat how are you trying? They weren't women.
Yeah, you literally did.
Absurd.
Vivian, do we need to go back over this again? Did you already forget? My chatter said you're okay with people beating women. You said no, which is an overt lie. You are okay with people beating women on the street. Beating women on the street as long as they're cops. Do I agree that there is an implication that the original chatter ran with that is absolutely not congruent with your position? Of course. However, hold on. Stop. You are literally lying in response. The actual human, actually intelligent response to that is, I'm not okay with beating all women in the street, I guess for you, unless they're cops. And then, like, if they choose that occupation, whatever, fair game.
Women cops means. I'm sorry I didn't write an entire fucking paragraph.
It wasn't a paragraph.
From the context.
The message is this simple. I'm not okay with beating women, but if they're cops, okay. Apparently, that's your position.
So, not women cops? Like, does that not communicate that message?
No, it doesn't.
Are you kidding me? Really?
Oh. Like, what's the issue? What's the issue with that?
I don't know what other interpretation you could have from that sentence other than like one that's incredibly bad faith. But fine,
all right,
really.
Cool. All right, fine. Cool. So I'm just genuinely curious. Why are you defending people kicking the shit out of these cops?
I was saying Hasan was probably right because that sort of shit doesn't happen without the cops aggressing on a crowd, and you agreed that the vast majority that there are a lot of fucking instances in which cops use unjustified violence against a crowd, right? Violence that both you and I would say is unjustified, at least.
Why would we physically assault cops?
There are numerous reasons.
Okay, give me one.
Stop them from assaulting other people is probably one of the best.
To stop them from physically assaulting other people. What if we don't know the situation? Like
what if we
this.
Don't know the situation? What do you mean?
Well, like this situation, when we don't know the situation that's going on, should we be encouraging people physically assaulting cops when we don't know the situation? Broadly, this isn't a hard question.
Broadly, probably not. No, I was simply agreeing with Hasan's statement that it was that these sorts of situations don't happen without unjustified police aggression.
Wait, I'm sorry, say again?
Especially with left-wingers, to be fair.
What'd you just say?
I was just agreeing with Hasan's assertion that these sorts of situations generally don't happen, especially from the left, without unjustified police aggression.
I never made that statement. What I'm asking is, should we have encouraged it without knowing the full situation?
What are you wanting me to say?
That we shouldn't be jumping to conclusions without full information. It's that simple. I'm asking you to be an intelligent person.
I agree.
So do you think that we should be encouraging this without full information?
No, I don't think we should be encouraging it, but I was just agreeing with Hasan's assertion that these sorts of situations don't generally occur, especially from the left, without unjustified police aggression.
Wait, so you understand that that's endorsing it, correct?
I mean, if you want to boil it all the fucking way down to
it's not boiling it all the way the fuck down. What do you mean? That's very pointedly endorsing it. hey, listen, I'm not saying that this was that case, but it's very often that this happens, and it tends to be justified. So, like, what is the only conclusion of that statement is that somebody listening is like, oh yeah, so this is justified. This is okay. That's the only conclusion to draw.
I mean, the conclusion that can be drawn from that statement is that it's very likely that this is justified. There could be a potential outlier case in which, like, a mob has just descended on a couple of cops who were, like, grabbing donuts during their lunch break, right, and did absolutely nothing wrong to anybody ever. But that would be an extreme outlier and very unlikely.
If you're gonna make this argument, this dumb argument, right? Because I think it's a very stupid argument. Then the response that you had to one of my chatters when they talked about how here, let me get the exact logs.
Sure.
Because my chatter referenced people getting physically beaten by cops, and you said give me one sec. Not if you're a cop, you get a promotion. And let me get the exact context.
Yeah, you have to get the one I was replying to. I can't remember exactly what they said.
And beating women in the streets because of their job is political suicide. And then you said, not if you're a cop, you get a promotion.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And do you understand what the argument you're making is? Well, not if you're a leftist either, because then you get fucking Twitter points, according to you.
Well,
because everybody will make an excuse for them, just like you. Everybody will make an excuse for every leftist that beats the shit out of a cop. Because, hey, listen, I don't know the full context, but hey, listen, I know a leftist wouldn't typically physically assault a cop without good purpose. So yeah, according to you, you're doing the exact thing that you're criticizing the cops for in this instance. Like, hey, listen, I don't know what happened, but that leftist is probably right for physically assaulting that human being.
So wait, we're going with the like the opposite of
it's very simple. You said
so you're applying my logic to like left wingers is what.
No,
you're
I'm
saying.
Applying your logic to you. You just did this, did you not, Vivian? Justify. Well, I don't know what happened, but often when the protesters physically assault cops, it's in self-defense.
Okay? I'm just trying to clarify. Okay. So you're saying you're applying my position to, you could say the same thing about leftists.
That's I'm saying that your position when you say the person stated pretty simply, right? The person stated pretty simply that whenever it's political suicide to beat the shit out of a woman, right? More or less, right? And then you said not unless you're a cop, then you get a promotion. Couldn't I say the exact same thing about your moral prescription when it comes to
about leftists, right?
Yeah. No, about your political position, about your prescription in your moral.
Okay, it's fine. No, I'm sure chat understands what I'm saying, but like, holy fuck.
I want to be clear because I don't want to attribute this to like leftists.
No, you're attributing it to me. I understand. You're saying that, right?
Sure.
I would say the same thing, I would act in the same way towards leftists, right? That's all I was clarifying. I would do the same thing. Cop beats women in street. Giving them a promotion is like kind of fucking hyperbole, but generally they just fucking get away with it, right? And it's like added to their arrest sheet or whatever. And they'll do fine. And I'm doing the same thing with leftists, right? I'm seeing them beat somebody in the street, and I'm just like, yeah, it's probably fine, right?
Yes. It's not that it's probably fine. You're making excuses for it. You're not saying it's probably fine. You are going into chat rooms and defending the position of the people beating the police. You're doing more than just saying it's fine.
I mean, defending them is saying it's fine, right? Saying it's
okay. These are different. There is two different things that you can do. You can say that one thing is okay. You could say that one thing is okay and whatever. Actually, there's three different things. One, you can believe that it's okay, not talk about it. Two, you could say it's okay. And three, you can actively defend it. and like argue with people in my chat room about it. And you went to the most extreme example right there.
I made like 2 posts and I said it's probably, and I basically said it's probably okay if you take on.
Not only did you make 2 posts, you came into this chat room to disagree with me, say that I was bad faith misrepresenting you when I wasn't.
Because you started screaming at my chat that I didn't think cops were women, which was the most bad faith, ridiculous interpretation.
It's because you didn't understand the statement put forward. It's that simple. You didn't understand the statement put forward, right? And you lied about it.
Didn't I understand?
We went over it. This is probably going to be the 4th time at this point.
Yeah, we went over it, and
Akiba said that you're okay with that. That you're okay with women being beaten in the street, and you said no, not women, cops.
Yes.
You didn't understand that the answer. Hold on. The actual logically consistent answer is yes, I am, as long as they're cops. That's your answer. Not no, cops. Your answer is yes, as long as they are cops.
This is some insane fucking pedantry here. There is
absolutely not.
There like honestly, knowing that I at least think, even if you don't think that I'm particularly rational, right? Knowing that I'm like a human being who recognizes that cops can be both men and women, right? I'm probably not going to be arguing that cops cannot be women, right? So that would be a ridiculous interpretation of what I said.
The reason why I'm pushing So part of the reason
incredibly
cool.
Bad faith, right?
Yeah, go on. All right, so the reason why I'm going off about this, right, in relation to this, is in our previous conversations, you refused to take any acknowledgement of the differences that, like, the genders of people face. You would apply one characteristic or one set of standards and not to another. How I would get you to be able to understand the gravity of your positions is by applying it to women. You have a clear history of not wanting to accept certain negative things being said about women or have your conclusions lead to negative things being done to women, but you're perfectly okay with them being done to men. So it's perfectly understandable that you would want. Yes, you okay? So
I have a history of trying to get you to understand why women.
I literally don't care. For anybody that wants to know exactly what I'm talking about, go onto my YouTube and click on the video with her in it. All right, you're 100% did this. It's not bad. It's literally a raw ripped VOD. It's like I don't know how you could argue it's bad faith, but cool. So yeah, there you go. So anyway. Like, you're sitting over here and you're saying stupid shit, trying to avoid criticism from people in my chat room with no good purpose, and I want to just get back to it, right? How is you stating that cops get a promotion if they beat the fuck... It's not political suicide to beat the shit out of a woman. If for cops, you get a promotion, but then you making this... Same exact point about leftists being able to beat the fuck out of women that happen to be cops... is like not the exact thing that you're criticizing, because you don't morally condemn any of these protesters for doing that. So how is that not the exact same thing that you're like arguing against?
Because if a police officer is beating the shit out of somebody on the street, they're obviously doing something wrong, right? Like there's basically no reason that a police officer should be just fucking beating the crap out of somebody.
And there's no reason for a civilian to be beating the shit out of a cop.
I mean, I completely disagree. If the cop has tried to beat the shit out of them, yeah.
What?
It's not the general public's job to try and diffuse situations. They don't have things like fucking handcuffs available to them. They don't have like a fucking team of trained officers to restrain people, right? So sometimes people do have to defend themselves against police aggression. Yeah.
But you don't think the police ever have to defend themselves? Never. There's no such thing as the police defending themselves.
Police officers can defend themselves. I never said there was any problem with that.
So what about beating the shit out of people then? That you just said.
They shouldn't be beating the shit out of people, yeah.
But civilians should?
A cop doesn't need to. Because a cop can put the handcuffs on somebody and then take them away and fucking incarcerate them.
Not if there's literally a mob like what we were seeing. Not if there's 20 people beating the hell out of you.
Sure. I mean, if there's 20 people beating the hell out of you, they're not going to be beating the hell out of anybody, are they?
Are you okay? What do you mean? They're beating the hell out of them.
Oh, holy fucking shit. The cop the cop is not going to be isn't beating the shit out of other people, right? Other people are beating the shit out of the cop. Like
that's
the
what I
situation
said.
we're talking about. Right. Okay. Yes. And they are entitled to defend themselves in that situation.
Yeah. What if they want to beat the fuck out of all the? What if they want to beat the fuck out of all the people that are beating the fuck out of them?
I mean, they took on the fucking position of being somebody who's not supposed to do that, who is supposed to minimize harm, even to fucking criminals.
Do you think that, okay, great. Do you think we should all try to minimize harm? Or do you think that whenever we see somebody get the fuck beat out of them, we should just, whatever, let's just physically assault them too? Let's just dogpile on this situation?
I think the general public don't have the same level of responsibility to try and minimize harm as police officers who have been given the authority to use violence.
So I'm not talking about
in that fashion.
Yeah, I'm not talking about right now. They have the same level of responsibility, and nor am I asking for them to have the exact same responsibility. What I'm stating is, do you believe that civilian populaces shouldn't be trying to beat the shit out of cops just because the cops beat the shit out of somebody else? And if that isn't the case, then why should cops be obligated to not beat the shit out of, let's say, a protester that was just beating the shit out of them?
Would you agree that we should hold police officers to different moral standards?
I do.
Than regular people?
Yeah, but okay. I think that this moral standard isn't that saying that we should hold cops to different moral standards doesn't mean every moral standard that a cop holds to has to be different than the general populace. For instance, I would say a cop should never use racial slurs, just like how I would say nobody should use racial slurs. Right? And I would expect the exact same thing. If somebody beat the shit out of you, just because a cop beat the shit out of you, and you know how the opportunity to kick his head in, I wouldn't say that you should do that. I'd say you should try and de-escalate the situation, make sure as little people get in harm's way as possible, and disengage. That's what your moral obligation is to do. I'm wondering why you don't ascribe that same moral obligation to people as well.
I'm saying that for the people in that crowd, the primary moral consideration is protecting the people around you from the cops' aggression. It should be your primary fucking consideration.
Well, what about the cop then that's trying to protect their fellow officers from the mob?
The cop's primary responsibility is not to protect their fellow officers, but to protect the general public. That's the job that they're put there to fucking do.
And in doing so, they're going to have to also protect their fellow officers. You realize that, right?
Yes, that is also
if you're a cop, right? So if you're a cop, your fellow officer's getting the shit kicked out of them. Are you just supposed to sit there and go, whatever?
Did I advocate for that at any point?
I'm asking you what to do. You're a cop. You see your fellow officer getting the shit kicked out of him. What do?
Hand over your badge and join in. But as a reasonable expectation, you should be fucking hell, chat. You should be trying to restrain that person, de-escalate the situation. You can use all kinds of
there's a mob. There's a mob. There's like 10 people beating the shit out of your fellow officer. What do?
Oh, I mean, you either try and get more help or you dive in and try and stop the mob from hurting your...
Okay, so how do you stop the mob from hurting you without, like, physically assaulting them?
I never said you can't physically assault somebody as a police officer. Sometimes, like, just an arrest is a physical assault, right?
Okay, without beating them. Without, like, hitting them, punching them, pushing them, tasing them, pepper spraying them. How do you do that?
Things that you might have to do. Yeah.
Okay, so then what's the problem with saying cops can beat the shit out of people that are beating the shit out of them?
There isn't. I guess it comes to like the vagaries of like beating the shit out of somebody, right? We're going back to like if you see a cop beating the shit out of a woman on the street, you're using this like hyper specific example. Right. And yeah, sure. I guess it depends on circumstance. But broadly, if you see a cop kicking the shit out of one person on the street, like they fucked up, haven't they? They're not doing their job properly.
Yeah. It depends, but probably it depends though.
Yeah. Like if it's just one person, it'd be very difficult to say that like that it would be reasonable to be continuously kicking shit out.
But this isn't an excuse for us to just dogpile onto cops and physically assault cops. Because like you just made the argument, yourself, if I physically assault a police officer and there's other people physically assaulting police officer, that escalates the situation where another police officer is going to want to or have to physically assault me. So why escalate the situation instead of de-escalate it?
Between the police and the peoples, right? And then you end up with a situation like here, which was likely originally started by cop aggression, right?
No, what I'm stating is, why would I escalate the situation? Why do you not put a moral obligation onto citizens as well, civilians, to de-escalate situations? Why is it only that you make it for cops' duty to de-escalate situations?
As a citizen, you should also try and de-escalate situations.
So why are you justifying civilians going out of the way and beating the shit out of cops?
I'm simply saying the cops likely aggressed on them to make that happen.
Okay, I'm not going to make a claim to that. I don't have, one, the stats, or two, the inclination to really care that much, because we would look at it on a case-by-case basis. But either way, like, if that's the case, that doesn't matter, no? Who threw the first punch? Oh, you threw the first punch so I can beat the shit out of you? Like, if you hit somebody else? Like, this isn't a good argument.
Yeah, we have no other recourse against police officers. Like, zilch.
No, if
a police officer walks up and fucking cold cocks you in the side of the fucking head, especially at a protest, you have nothing. Fucking nothing. It is so hard to get
you can defend yourself
or anything. Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't defend yourself, but I think having 10 people swarm a cop and beat the shit out of them literally causes mass escalation. You've given the police complete clearance on just fucking tear gassing the entire fucking crowd because you all just wanted in on kicking the shit out of this cop.
For the fucking dipshits in chat saying record it, put it on camera or whatever. This is fucking like, there were so many assaults on fucking camera that were recorded during the BLM protests, right? So many, and almost none of those police officers have suffered any criminal charges whatsoever. Almost none.
Do you know what? Okay? Do you want to know why half of them probably aren't receiving criminal charges? It's because half of them are probably getting away with self-defense shit. Well, there was people beating cops in the area, sir. There was people beating cops in the area, sir. And I don't disagree that that's a shitty reason to do so. But you give cops. Hold on. Let me finish my thought. You give cops reasons and excuses to be able to physically assault people when you do shit like this, or more specifically, you condone shit like this. You give cops excuses. That's what you do.
I mean, none of that is an excuse.
No, but you give them excuse. I don't disagree that it's not an excuse, nor do I think it's an excuse to beat the shit out of another human being just because you see other people doing it and because you don't like cops, okay? I don't think any of those things are good reasons to do anything. We may agree or disagree on some of these reasons. However, the people are going to use it as an excuse and weaponize it, just like how you're using, well, it's often that cops start these situations as an excuse for 10 people literally kicking the shit out of some woman cop. That's what you're doing right now. Other cops often do it. You don't know. Maybe this was the best cop ever. Never did anything. You don't know. You're attributing a wide array of activities. Hold on. You're attributing a wide array of activities, and I agree to some degree, a systemic issue to this one individual person. That's not how it works. That's not how systemic issues work. And then they're doing the exact same thing when they make excuses about why they needed to tear gas fucking 5,000 people that were all just marching for no apparent reason from the cop. It's the exact same thing. The problem is you're not seeing them as human or normal or rational or whatever. They're using the same excuses you are. Maybe we should just stop using weird, bad excuses.
They're human. I mean, they're a gang of violent street thugs, but they're
Jesus
human.
Christ. Holy shit. Dude, can we just get you a Twitter post or something so you can get all your virtue signaling out? Jesus, mother of God.
I'm sorry, the cops are just another gang, mate. They're state affiliated, state funded, and
we get it. Yeah, we get it. Soy, true. You're right. You know what? Soy, they are gang thugs. Haha. Soy, they carry guns. So gangs, soy. Yeah, you're right.
It's not they carry guns.
Oh
so
no,
gangs.
You're right. It's they carry guns and they get badges. Soy.
No, it's that they have that same that same protect their own mentality, right? That is not about protecting and serving the public, right? But enabling really shitty fucking behavior and sticking up and defending for each other.
Cops never do anything good ever. They never do anything good ever.
Never do anything good ever.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Well, I didn't say that, did I, really?
Sure.
Back into the bad faith portion of the argument.
We absolutely.
You don't want to address the idea that, like.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm very uncomfortable with criticizing cops. Yeah, I'm super uncomfortable with that. Yeah.
No, I never said you're super uncomfortable with criticizing cops.
Sure. Okay. So,
if you don't want to have a conversation,
I don't want to have a conversation about why cops are thugs and are a gang and shit, so that way you can just virtue signal all day. I'm incredibly tired of it. I've heard you go off a million times. You've literally backpedaled on like 9 different points about cops where you just say like, yeah, we should just kick the shit out of them and stuff like that. I've seen you talk with many different people about it and get fucking bodied on it. It's just your takes on cops is just fucking terrible. I honestly don't know how you continuously have
every single conversation I've ever seen you in, Relly. Oh my god, you look like such a moron.
Hey, thanks.
Who's
I appreciate
fucking doing the signaling now? Like, holy fucking shit, dude.
Good one.
Carry on.
Hey, good.